Having a robot pool vacuum is pretty handy because you don't have to get as involved with cleaning the pool. The biggest problem that I find with it though is that you're constantly having to pull it out and charge it and then essentially put it back in when you need it. Now, when I was at CES back in January, I did run into a company called Wybot and I saw something pretty cool at their booth, and that was a solar panel charger that this thing could dock into. I actually reached out to them, and after a bit of talking, they decided to sponsor today's video. So they sent out their Wybot S2 Solar. This essentially is a pool vacuum that can dock itself, charge itself up, go back out there and clean the pool for you. The only thing you now need to do is empty out the basket each time. But as long as your pool doesn't get too dirty, that's not going to be all that often. Actually, let's go ahead and take a look at the hardware of what this thing offers. All right, before we get everything in the pool, I wanted to show you all of the hardware that we're getting. So if we take a look at our actual vacuum right here, this is the jet that is on top. So we've got a single jet on top that has a total suction power of 3,900 gallons per hour of suction that's going to be coming up through the bottom and then shooting out of our jet at top. Over here, we have our DC power. So if you do want to power this up, there is a plug right here that you can just plug it right into that. For our DC power, we've got a power button over on this side. If I lift this up here, we can see inside to the filter. So here is our filter basket. This has 180 micron filtration basket down here, nice and big for picking up stuff. But then we also have a 40 PPI ultrafine sponge. So this is going to add to our filtration right there. That's taking up a lot of what we're seeing inside. If we flip it over to look at the front of it, at the front right here, we have got the power button, but then we also have our mode button. So our mode button is going to go through all of the different settings right here. We have 3 options for settings on here. It's going to give us the option of doing the floor, the walls, and then also a combination of floor and walls. And the cool thing with these 3 settings right here is that you can go into the app and customize what you want those to be. So if you want to change it through its different modes, you can customize it in the app and then just manually pick them from the button right here. Taking a look at the front, we have got our sensor here on the front. Flipping it over, we have got our rubber brushes here on the front. And then we have got our suction port right down here with a few wheels to help it move along if it needs to. We've got our tracks on either side. So let's flip it over. Tracks on either side right here for getting around the pool. And that is what we have for the actual vacuum itself. Now I want to go over here and take a look at the solar panel. So the solar panel hangs off into the water. So you can see right here, that is what I have for my setup. I don't have the dock connected yet. I'm going to be doing that here in a sec because I wanted to show you guys the solar panel. So with the solar panel, we do have 2 physical buttons on here. We have it for home and play. And the reason that we have buttons on here is because this is the dock that's going to be hanging into the water. And on the dock right here, we have got sensor on here. And this is what is going to allow us to communicate with the vacuum when it is in the water. So that is something that I thought was awesome because typically once it goes underwater, you can't communicate with it anymore. On both of the solar panel and the dock right here is what we're going to be using to connect them both up. So we'll be doing that in a second here, getting this thing set up, running to clean everything, all the leaves that we have thrown into the pool for our test. A few other stats that I wanted to mention with our robot right here is that it does have a 5200 milliamp battery inside. It's going to give us about 2.5 hours of runtime and 3 hours to recharge it if we're using the DC port on the top. Now, as far as charging it there from the solar panel, that is completely going to depend on the amount of sun that you're getting and the angle and stuff like that. So that is going to vary on charging times when you're going to be running it there off of the panel. Now, in that 2.5 hour of running time, this thing has the ability to cover about 3,200 square feet of pool area, which should be plenty for running and cleaning out our pool right here. Now, also inside the box, we are getting a handful of different floats. We've got our user manual, a hook just in case something goes wrong and you need to get this thing out and it's not coming up. This is actually going to hook into the handle right up here so you can pull it out if you need to. And then we have got our power supply. So this is what is going to hook into our port right here. You don't need to plug that into the solar panel. That's going to be something different. That's going to pull its own power. This is just going to be for plugging it directly into here if you need to charge it that way. So the Wybot S2 Solar actually has some features that I have not seen with other pool vacuums. Now, like with other vacuums, it does have AI path optimization, but this one has 6 different patterns out there. We've got the star shape, the cross shape, S shape, H shape, Y shape, and a Z shaped patterns. So lots of different options for you. We also have 7 different cleaning modes. That's going to be cleaning the floor, cleaning the walls, cleaning the water line. We've got a standard full pool clean. We've got eco floor. We've got turbo floor. And then we have the combo of doing the wall and then the floor. The base of the docking station does have a sensor on it that allows it to communicate with the robot underwater, which is awesome because typically with other vacuums out there, once it's underwater, you can't communicate with it anymore. This one you can. So you can actually bring up in the app a remote control to move this guy into any area that you want to move it into certain positions. So for some reason, if it seems to just be missing an area, you can manually bring it over there. You also have the spot clean button. So if you hit that, it'll go ahead and spot clean that area too. And the other cool thing about this vacuum too is that it's compatible with any shaped pool and any surface type. Now, as you can probably see, we threw a lot of leaves in this pool because we wanted to see what it could clean up. Now, this thing ran for quite a long time and was doing a really good job on half of the pool. But when I got to the second half of the pool, we noticed it really slowing down and not doing as great of a job anymore. I didn't know if there was an issue with the actual vacuum itself, but when it was done with its vacuum cycle, it came up to the dock and we pulled it off to take a look at the basket to see how full it actually was. Now, to my surprise, this thing was jam-packed. You could not put any more leaves in this thing. In fact, they were even flowing out of the top of this thing that I had to pull out and shove back in there, but very impressed with how well this thing was able to pick up all of those leaves in the pool. Wow. Yeah, I would say it's done a great job. I followed it up with a second run later that day, and it did a great job at getting a majority of the leaves out there. A nice surprise during this run too is seeing the clean vacuum lines in the shallow end when it did its run through there. So you can actually see the floors getting cleaned with every pass. Now let's take a quick look at the app. I've got my Wybot set up right here. I'm gonna go ahead and select on my Wybot, and we can see the different controls that we have in here. So here's our Wybot. Solar Kit is charging up right now. We've got our remote control on the bottom of this. And the cool thing about this too is that on that docking station, it does have that sensor for controlling your robot. So you can hit the remote control and actually put this in any direction that you want to, get it on the spot that you want, and then hit the spot clean for it to clean that area. We've also got our weekly cleaning, so you can set up your schedule there. And then below that, we've got our cleaning modes for you to pick the style that you want to get the area that you want cleaned. For me, I typically just do the standard full pool clean. So the app is pretty basic, but there are always updates being pushed to this robot to give it more functionality. So if you like the idea of a robot pool cleaner that takes out the hassle of daily charging, then the Wybot S2 Solar is gonna be something to check out. I'll leave links in the description for you guys to find out more. If this video is helpful, give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you liked it. As always, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next video.